Hey, it's Sil. So from the Olympics to fraternities to just toxic masculinity in general, I'd like to talk about a few things this week. It has been a long week, but also a short week. It was weird. It's colder right now today. It's going to be a little windy, so apologies in advance. But yeah, if you're down to just kind of walk and talk with me, then let's get to it. So the Olympics have been going on over the past couple of weeks, and I think obviously the standout moment from the Olympics so far has been Elisa Liu. She has really just had such an incredible story over these past Olympics. Just to be able to follow that from retiring to coming back to just absolutely taking that stage and giving such an incredible moment to media currently. If you have not seen her gold medal winning free skate, it's truly incredible. It really is. And I talked about this when I talked about Iron Lung, but I love those moments where you're able to see someone doing the thing that they love and accomplishing the thing that they sought to accomplish. She went on the ice and she was beautiful, and her set was just amazing. It was so technically brilliant from the standpoint of someone who doesn't really understand all of the ins and outs of free skating or just figure skating at large. But she looked from the outside just so happy to be there, so happy to be such an expert at what she's doing, to be able to like absolutely just truly take everything and do it so flawlessly. Just incredible to see. So to see that on the big stage there, I mean, that's been such an incredible moment over the past couple of weeks. And there's been a lot of incredible moments. Like all these free skaters, all the speed skaters, the cross-country skiers, the ski jumpers, the half-pipe snowboarders, everything has been incredible, and it always is. It's so funny, I think, we only get the Winter Olympics every 4 years, right? And every 4 years, I feel like I change so much as a person that I really view the Olympics at large from a new set of eyes every 4 years. Seeing it this year, I'm more thinking, wow, like these sports have been designed to like kill people. like let's take the bobsled for example. 2 people jumping into a freaking like bullet that is sliding on ice at 90 miles an hour, and they're just trying to take turns as best they freaking can and get to the end before they die, and then go and do it again. The amount of G-force, the amount of inertia that has to be overcome physically by these bobsledders, and even the skeleton runners, I can't even fathom. Like, I can't even believe it. That is like a next level kind of like, I'm doing something that literally would kill me if I mess up. Like the amount of mental fortitude to have, that's astronomical. It's crazy. And like the ski jumpers and stuff, like those guys are like literally flying like in the air. Like what a ridiculous thing. In the cold, in the snow, like they are literally just launching their bodies forward and trying not to die. I think that's like what boils down to the essence of the Winter Olympics. It's literally just watch people try not to die, period. Figure skating, it's like you could probably die if you do something really bad, but it's like out of all of them, seemingly one of the most tame. Curling, obviously, pretty darn tame. And I mean, if you've been keeping up with the Olympics too, there's just been a lot of controversy overall as well. So curling, for example, the whole Canada cheating controversy, which is so ridiculous, man. Like, I just can't believe, you know, that happens. But also it's like, wow, like curling, you wouldn't expect it to be such a high stakes, incredibly involved cheating scandal, but it definitely was. The other ones, like the ski jumper stuff. Like, if you haven't been really keeping up with all the different news points and controversy, the ski jumpers, I guess, were injecting their, the male ski jumpers were in the PG-13 plus, but they were injecting their hoo-has, their penises, with like some kind of acid that would enlarge it. And then when they were fitted for their uniforms, it would make the uniform more baggy in that area. So like a flying squirrel, they would fly further because they generate more lift because of that extra space in the suit. So they would make their peepees bigger and then they would shrink by the time that they got to the Olympics and then fly further. That is crazy. The efforts that people go to do these things, wild, absolutely crazy. And I mean, there's been so many other things, like a lot of political stuff too. This Olympics, you know, from you know, the American president to the American vice president, saying things that just like do not sit well at all. I just, man, oh man. It's been a wild ride for the Olympics so far. I don't know, like, for what? You know, for no reason. I don't feel like previous Olympics have been this like overwrought with so many political things and so much different drama items, but here we are. We're in 2026 and yeah, it's continuing to go. So transitioning from the Greek Olympics to Greek fraternity organizations, has anybody else kind of looked at the whole Iowa fraternity hazing incident that was caught on police camera recently? So I guess some police were dispatched to a fraternity house in Iowa, and they had arrived because of, I guess, of a pulled fire alarm or something like that. They arrived there, and in the basement, there were a bunch of guys doing some kind of hazing thing. They were like shirtless, they were all in a room. This room was like covered with food and fluids and all sorts of whack stuff. And the police were like, dudes, what the H is going on here? But then none of them would talk. None of them would do anything. The guys that were, you know, the upper guys in the fraternity, they came around. They look like total douchebags, you know, and they're just like having such a superiority complex in the whole exchange. I both do encourage and don't encourage watching this video. It's just like weird. And I personally, I never did the whole fraternity thing. It was never my thing. I don't like involving myself in hypermasculine, you know, like echelons like that. It's really not my thing. But God, man, like, I just don't get it. I don't get the allure of going through that for such little gains. Like, yes, you go into a fraternity, you know, you go, and like people think about it as I'm going into it for this experience, you know. College is all about the experience, and this is one of them. And I mean, all I got to do is just kind of get through this, but then I have like friends and brothers forever. I can do this whole fraternity organization. And it's like, okay, sure. But at the same time, you could do that with literally any other group or org on your campus for so much less involvement. And it's just, I don't know. I really, really don't get the whole hazing thing. I was in a lot of campus organizations when I went to college, and a couple of them, you know, like they did like kind of a half hazing thing. And and some of it was like kind of weird and kind of sketchy. And I was just like, yeah, this like really is not my thing. One of the things that I had to do, I guess, was like, we were, and this is like so weird, but we were blindfolded and driven to the top of a parking garage on campus. And then at that point, what they did was they did it kind of halfway. They made us, you know, shotgun sparkling water instead of like beer or something like that, and then like eat some kind of thing blindfolded or something, like some weird thing. And then we were blindfolded and driven back, and I was paired with another guy, and he was just like, you know, this makes me kind of sick. Do you mind if I like not wear my blindfold? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, that's fine. But I've only done it like minusculely, right? Like not to the extent of I'm literally stripped half naked, I have food being thrown at me, and I can't talk no matter what, or else I'm kicked out. You know, like that in and of itself is abuse. But men put up with abuse in a lot of ways, and that is not a statement that is apologizing for men in any way. But men do have they put themselves through a lot of abuse for no reason, I would say. And they're stupid because of that. They have, like, it's stupid, but it's how it goes, I guess. And I don't know. I really don't get that level of it at all. And it's just, there's a toxicity there, and you are inviting that toxicity into your life, but actively participating in it. And men are kind of really stupid in that they don't see what's in front of them if they want to see something else, right? Like these kids that are there involved in this hazing incident, they don't really see it as hazing. They know that it's hazing. They don't see it as hazing. They push it away, they push it back, because they know that the result of it will get them somewhere. You know, it's such a stupid concept. But if you ever want to dive into the freaking mental whatever the hell's going on with guys, let me know. Ask me a question. I'll try my best to help. Continuing the tone with masculinity. Question, you know, why do men love loud cars and big loud noises and vehicles? Does anybody like a men answer, you know, like what goes into that mindset that you want big car that make big noise? What is attractive about that? And does anybody else like think that's like kind of stupid? Like, it doesn't make you, in my opinion, I don't think it makes you look cool or like big or anything. If anything, it makes you look dumb. It makes you look like you are compensating for something in some way or another. Like, but there it is again, like the thing about men, like suppressing all those other negative things about something and then just being like, this is gonna net me so much clout or something like that, right? Like, that's so stupid. I just think it's really dumb. You know, I see it all the time. You know, these guys, you know, they have these, you know, big trucks with big wheels, and like, you know, they do the accelerator and it, you know, really roars around, or like these sports cars that like accelerate really loud under an underpass or something like that. And it's just like, okay, like I have a car that can do that same thing quieter and like faster too. Like some of these guys, like they do the big acceleration and then like their car goes nowhere. And like, what the frick is that? Like, what is that? I don't get it. I really don't. And if somebody could please just comment, like, what the hell is going on there? Like, I want to know, like, the mindset. Like, why is that important to you? And obviously, I feel like it's pretty dumb, but perhaps it isn't. And maybe I'm wrong. You know, I could be wrong. But I don't see the good parts of it at all. And I'd like to understand what is going on inside of that head to think that that is a really cool, awesome idea. Let me know. On another note on the mentality of younger people right now, to me, it seems like younger people like just buy the thing that's advertised well to them. Like they're easily tricked by that, and they don't really look up like the peer review or, you know, the review at large of the thing that they're trying to get. They just look at what is advertised to them or what's given to them and go and get that thing. Like, from a millennial standpoint, like that's fucking crazy. There's so many like things out there that, and so many products that like don't work very well and like that are actually shit. And I'm shocked when a lot of people, I regularly come into contact with a lot of younger people, with a few younger people in my life, and especially at my work. And these people, they find things that they need to get and are shocked when the thing doesn't work as advertised or isn't as high quality as it could be, but they could have found out about it retroactive, like from reading the reviews. Is this weird to anybody else? Like, I feel like this is like odd because we have been growing all this time in the age of the internet. And for me, from a millennial perspective, like that is like 101 about getting things on the internet, is not actually trusting what all the advertisements say and like listening to what people say about it. It is like like common knowledge, common sense to me as a buyer and as a person. Furthermore, from like a buying philosophy standpoint, I'm always trying to get and acquire the thing that is the pinnacle of what it is, right? So like, and that's just a me thing, obviously, but I am curious how other people inject what goes into other people's buying processes and philosophies. I personally try to buy the thing that is, you know, as top of the line as I can get it to be and still accomplish the things I'm trying to accomplish with that tool or item that I'm getting. But like I said, some people I've been seeing, like, they just go to Amazon and like they get the thing that is first served to them when they search the prompt and they're like, oh, that looks cool, I'll get it. I don't get that. I don't get not doing, you know, the research or diving into it and like trying to see, oh, what's the best way I can get this thing? That's just an odd philosophy to me. Because if you're gonna go and spend your money on a thing, you might as well make sure that that thing is good when you get it and that you didn't make a bad investment. But that's just me. Anybody else have any thoughts on that? I mean, I'm very, very curious. You know, there are a lot of people in the world, right? And it's so sobering sometimes when you start to think about how the person that's sitting next to you or the person that's in the same room as you or the same building as you are living an entire life of their own that is completely separate to yours. It's common knowledge, right? That everyone is just living their lives in some way or another. But take a moment to like really think at a granular level the thoughts and opinions that this person is having live in your space. Put yourself out of yourself and put yourself into their perspective. And I just find it mind-blowing sometimes. Like, you really get so involved in the weeds in your own perspective and opinions and thoughts at the time. And it's really funny to just kind of think, take a step back and think, man, that person, very possible that they're really thinking about how they're gonna get through the day, or what kind of food they're gonna eat, or if they're gonna be able to do the laundry when they get home, or if they have enough gas in their car. You know, like, there's just like, there's so many people in the world, and each one of these people are having experiences that are really similar to yours. And I feel like it's just an interesting I feel like it's an interesting thing to think about because people don't normally think that way. People normally will just think self-centeredly, not in a negative way, but as in a very common way. Like, people just think about themselves, and it's their right to. They should think about themselves. They are them. But the more we take ourselves out of the equation, the more we try to spin the perspective around and think about that other person more. What are they thinking about? What are they going through? What are they doing? Like, I feel like it helps us connect more with each other and connect with each other in a better way. Like, maybe there are some people in your life that are going through something odd, or that have been interacting with you poorly lately. They are aggravated or stressed or whatever. And it's easy to think reflexively that it's a problem they have with me, right? Like, if someone's mad at me, it's easy to think right off the bat, this person obviously has a problem with me specifically. It's easy to think that way. It's a very self-centered way to think about it. But perhaps there's another side to it. Perhaps that person is really not doing too well with a lot of things in their life, and it is just resulting in a lot of negativity that they are pushing onto others. Easy to not think that way, right? But would you think that way about yourself, right? If you are having a rough time, and if you start to realize that you are snappy at people, is it typically because you wish to do them harm? Or is it because you didn't eat or drink water or have been having a headache all day, right? Or you're dealing with some troubling financial stuff, or there's just a trickle down of things that have been happening negatively to you, and it's been rough. You would want someone else to understand that about you, right? So why not take a moment to understand that about other people? It's a hard thing to do today, especially in today's day and age, where everything is a perspective about you and how you can thrive and how you can be, better for you, and how the rest of the world really doesn't matter as long as you are happy. That can be true, and that is true in a lot of ways, but it can't be the absolute only thing or perspective that you should take, I think. So just a little thought experiment. I find myself thinking about it from time to time. I do wonder, what does everyone else think about that? I hope that maybe we can change some perspectives and hopefully just live happier lives as a result. But that's just how it is. In that same vein of viewing things from another person's perspective, it's a hard thing to do. It really is. Especially when you are talking one-on-one with that person, right? If there are people in your life that you often are talking with and you just really don't understand the positions they are taking, and why they would possibly think in one way or another. The conversation that comes to mind that would directly mimic that is if you are someone who is communicating with someone else of a different belief system than you. So let's say you are a Christian person communicating your thoughts with an Islamic person, right? You, from a perspective, whether you're Christian or Islamic, you at large will be trying to communicate things from your own perspective the entire time, right? because that's all you can do. That's all you feel like you can do in those kind of intimate moments, right? All you know best is the things that you personally know. What I think would help in communicating between belief systems is taking the stance of, I'm going to try to jump into this person's shoes and rationalize things from their perspective, even if it is counter to my own. So, like, if you're a Christian person, like, to better understand the thoughts and ideologies of an Islamic person, or like a gay person, dive actually into their shoes. Take a moment to think, really think, and just for a moment, not permanently, temporarily, accept the things that they believe in and try to understand why. I think it would go a long way in treating others as they would like to be treated. And I think that's how everybody wants, that's the goal usually, right? In communicating and in dealing with others, treat others how they would like to be treated. I think many people kind of get it wrong in that, yes, you should treat others how they would like to be treated, but I think it's much better to go a step further than that. I think we should treat others how they want to be treated, but with the basic understanding of why they act the way that they do. So potentially the next time that you come into one of those situations, or not even the next time, maybe there's a particular ideology that you really butt heads with, and you're like, why in the world would somebody think that way? Try to think that way. It's weird. It'll feel weird. But try to think that way from that perspective. Literally dive into it with a clean slate of your mind and think, how would this person think about this concept and like it? It's hard. It's not easy to do, but it helps a lot in actually bridging ideologies and giving you a basic understanding of the inner workings of who this person might be. Think about that other perspective from a vein of don't think of that other person as, I'm an evil person and I think about it this way because. Think about it from your own perspective. If I were this person, a kind, loving person, or a person who has my self-interest in mind, or a person who just wants to live and go, if you are that person, what would be the reasons you would believe in this thing or go and do this thing? You'll come to find that a lot of the ideologies out in the world mostly just come from a place of wanting to belong, of wanting to live your life to the fullest. A lot of the times just from a place of love, from a place of identity. That's where that comes from. Ideologies that go against yours, they're not bad, not all the time. Some of them might be used in ways that hurt people. This is true. But it's not always true. Some of the ideologies and some of the ways people think and some of the things that people believe in, they just exist because there's a group of people that wants to live their life in that way. Or a group of people that have been taught to live their life in that way. Everybody just wants to be loved. Everybody just wants to belong. Everybody just wants kindness in their life. So, the next time you come counter with someone else's beliefs and ideologies, don't just brazenly aggress them with your own ideology. go to them with a clean slate, an understanding mind, and love in your heart. I think you will find that the outcome is much more favorable for both of you, and that you'll learn a lot more in the process. Let me know what you think about that. Well, I kind of want to wrap up today's walk and talk with just a couple words about love and loving other people and being loved by people. In my experience, it's actually really hard to find people that actually love you for you. It's hard to find people that want to be with you because of who you are and not because of how you make them feel, right? There's a very thin line to that. Whenever you start feeling like you are in love, you need to ask the question, okay, is what I am feeling actual truly love, or is what I'm feeling just kind of a passion that's going to be a little momentary, and then once that passion's gone, that flame is kind of out, whatever's left over, is it love? You got to be careful with that, right? There are a lot of people in the world, and a lot of people who want to be loved, and a lot of people who want to be in relationships, and a lot of people who don't feel like they can survive in the world without a relationship. Always kind of chasing that passionate dopamine rush from that real love, that they feel in their heart, that really get them going, that really get them feeling just like wonderful about this person. You need to take a moment, because that can really get you into a lot of rough situations, a lot of rough circumstances that aren't really going to be real love. It's going to be a facsimile of it. It's going to give you that big rush of, oh my gosh, this passion I feel in my heart, I truly love this person, for a moment. But when that passion's gone, is what is left over actually love? So it's just really hard to find. It's hard to start a relationship with someone on that basis of that gentle love versus that hot and heavy love, right? It's not to say that some relationships can really last on that, man. And good for people that find that in their life, that matches their own ferocity internally. But for the grand majority, I feel, it's going to be really hard to actually find a person that at the end of the day is going to love you for you. I really hope that everybody can find that in their life. I certainly have. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's worth searching for that feeling past the passion, past all of the introductory love that exists there, that really big feeling in my heart love that hurts. It's hard to see past that, and at the end of that really does lie the lens that you can actually see the person that you really love in your life. So, yeah, hope people can kind of maybe think about that. Hope that maybe kind of reframes the thoughts of love and relationships in people's lives, especially on the heels of post-Valentine's Day drama and trauma. I hope that people can, find better love in their life and actually find that person that's going to love and care for you the way that you deserve to be. So on that note, I really hope that everyone has a good week ahead. I really appreciate the opportunity to just kind of be on a screen and talk to people, no matter how many or how few. This is just something that I have been wanting to do for a while. And I really just appreciate the opportunity to come out, to walk, to get my thoughts out, and to just have a moment to interact. So thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, I guess. And we will see you on the next walk. Thanks.